21 black celebrity kids who are literal, clones of their parents side by side. What if the biggest mystery in celebrity culture isn't fame, but inheritance? Some faces in Hollywood feel strangely familiar, almost like history repeating itself. From iconic musicians to legendary actors, a new generation has appeared carrying the same eyes, the same expressions, and sometimes even the same confidence as their parents. But this isn't just about genetics, it's about discipline, upbringing, and values passed down behind the spotlight. Today on Black Excellence Legends, we look beyond viral comparisons and explore what legacy really means. Are these children simply lucky, or were they raised with a responsibility few people understand? Watch carefully, and when you finish, drop a comment and tell us which parent-child duo shocked you the most. Subscribe and join the conversation. Ice Cube and O'Shea Jackson Jr. When audiences place Ice Cube and O'Shea Jackson Jr. side by side, the resemblance is so precise that many viewers initially assume digital editing is involved. The same square jawline, the same narrowed stare, and even the familiar mean mug expression that defined West Coast rap in the late 1980s appear almost duplicated across generations. Yet their connection goes beyond appearance. Ice Cube, born O'Shea Jackson Sr., first rose to prominence as a founding member of NWA, helping shape gangsta rap through landmark projects like Straight Outta Compton, 1988. His sharp writing and commanding delivery later carried into a solo career and a long filmography, including Boys in the Hood and the Friday series, establishing him as both a cultural voice and a Hollywood figure. What makes this father-son pairing especially compelling is how that legacy was tested publicly. When the 2015 biographical film Straight Outta Compton was produced, O'Shea Jackson Jr. did not simply receive the role automatically. Director F. Gary Gray required him to audition repeatedly and undergo months of acting preparation and physical conditioning. He competed with trained actors who also resembled the rapper. Only after demonstrating emotional range and discipline did he secure the part of portraying his own father. The film became a major success, earning over $200 million worldwide at the box office and turning the younger Jackson into a credible performer rather than a curiosity. The similarity extends to voice and presence. Interviews often reveal a shared cadence, measured calm and deliberate. Instead of imitation, it feels like learned confidence developed over years of observation and mentorship. After the film, O'Shea Jackson Jr. pursued independent roles in projects such as Den of Thieves and Godzilla King of the Monsters, proving he intended to stand on his own professional footing. Their story highlights an important distinction about legacy. A famous last name may open a door, but preparation determines whether someone can remain in the room. Ice Cube provided an example of discipline and accountability, while his son demonstrated that respect must still be earned. In a broader sense, their relationship reminds viewers that heritage is not a shortcut to success. It is a responsibility to build upon what came before. True legacy is not copying a parent's path, but honoring it while creating a new one with integrity and purpose. Denzel Washington and John David Washington. When viewers compare Denzel Washington and John David Washington, the resemblance registers instantly. Yet what holds attention longer is not just shared features, but shared discipline. Denzel built one of the most respected careers in American cinema, over 4 decades, earning Academy Awards for Glory, 1989, and Training Day, 2001, and becoming known for characters defined by authority, restraint, and moral weight. His performances rarely rely on spectacle. Instead, a steady gaze or quiet pause often communicates more than extended dialogue. John David Washington's path, however, did not begin in Hollywood. Before acting, he pursued professional football, signing with the St. Louis Rams and later playing in NFL Europe. That experience shaped his physical control and patience long before cameras followed him. He entered acting in his 30s, an unusually late start for a rising star, which meant audiences could not easily dismiss him as a beneficiary of his father's success. His breakout role as Ron Stallworth in BlacKkKlansman 2018 earned global recognition and demonstrated emotional precision similar to Denzel's style, not as imitation, but as inheritance of craft. The likeness becomes most striking in moments of silence. Both actors often let stillness carry tension, allowing the viewer to come toward them rather than chasing attention. In films like Tenet 2020 and Malcolm and Marie 2021, John David uses calm intensity, echoing the performance philosophy Denzel developed through theater training and life experience. The similarity therefore feels deeper than genetics. It reflects years of observation and personal preparation. Denzel has frequently emphasized faith, responsibility, and professionalism in interviews, explaining that talent without character fades quickly. John David's careful career choices suggest he internalized that guidance. He built credibility, gradually choosing demanding roles instead of relying on easy visibility. Their story shows that legacy is not automatic status. A surname may spark curiosity, but sustained respect must be earned through effort. Together, they represent continuity shaped by values rather than entitlement. In a broader human sense, their example reminds us that mentorship within families can be powerful. When guidance is paired with humility, the next generation does not replace the previous one. It extends the impact, proving that true greatness evolves rather than disappears. Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans Jr. Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans Jr. present one of the most recognizable generational reflections in modern comedy. At first glance, audiences notice identical smiles and expressive eyes, but the deeper connection lies in rhythm. Damon Wayans became a central figure in American television comedy through In Living Color in the early 1990s, where his elastic facial expressions and sharp social observations helped redefine sketch comedy. His humor balanced exaggeration with commentary, allowing laughter to carry real cultural observations without losing accessibility. Years later, Damon Wayans Jr. entered the spotlight and immediately triggered a sense of familiarity. The resemblance was unmistakable, yet what surprised audiences most was the timing of his humor. He delivered punchlines with the same natural pacing, eyebrow lift, and spontaneous laughter that made his father memorable. Instead of carefully studying the mannerisms, the younger Wayans seemed to possess instinctive comedic rhythm, suggesting that performance style can develop through upbringing as much as training. Unlike some second-generation entertainers, he did not rely solely on nostalgia. Roles in Happy Endings and New Girl demonstrated versatility, quick improvisation, and an ability to adapt to contemporary television pacing. Critics often noted that while the foundation felt familiar, his delivery suited a different era of comedy, faster and more conversational. That distinction allowed him to respect the family tradition without repeating it. Their collaboration on screen, including playing relatives in television projects, highlighted how comfortably their styles align. Body language reactions and even laughter often synchronize, reinforcing the perception of a shared comedic language formed over decades of observation and mentorship. Comedy has historically served as both entertainment and cultural expression, particularly within Black American storytelling. Damon Wayans opened doors by bringing socially aware humor to mainstream audiences, while Damon Wayans Jr. continued that influence for a new generation raised in a different media landscape. Their relationship demonstrates that talent can be nurtured through environment, guidance, and example. Laughter, like music, often begins at home. Beyond fame, their stories suggest a humane lesson. When creativity is encouraged within families, children do not simply inherit a career, they inherit confidence. And confidence, more than opportunity, is what allows individuals to stand in public spaces and bring joy to others. Will Smith and Jaden Smith. When audiences compare Will Smith and Jaden Smith, the first reaction is usually recognition. The wide smile, expressive eyes, and relaxed confidence appear almost mirrored, recalling the charisma that carried Will from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 1990 to decades of global box office success. Over time, he became one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, leading major productions such as Independence Day, 1996, Men in Black, 1997, and later earning an Academy Award for King Richard, 2021. His appeal has always rested on approachability. Viewers feel as though he speaks directly to them rather than performing at them. Jaden Smith entered the public eye very early, co-starring with his father in The Pursuit of Happiness, 2006, at only 8 years old. The resemblance was obvious, yet his artistic path developed differently. Instead of pursuing traditional blockbuster roles, he explored music, fashion, and experimental storytelling. In films like The Karate Kid, 2010, he demonstrated discipline and physical commitment, while his later projects reflected a more introspective personality. Though critics often debated his unconventional choices, the underlying confidence echoed Will's early career fearlessness. The similarities become clearest in unscripted moments. Interviews, red carpets, and casual conversations reveal a shared ease before cameras. Both maintain eye contact, listen carefully, and respond thoughtfully, suggesting lessons absorbed over years rather than rehearsed imitation. Will has often emphasized preparation and respect for audiences, principles visible in Jaden's willingness to take creative risks rather than follow predictable paths. Their relationship illustrates how legacy can evolve. Will's generation fought for Black leading men to headline major studio films. Jaden grew up in a space where those doors were already open, allowing him to experiment more freely. The resemblance therefore represents continuity, not duplication. There is also a human dimension. Will frequently speaks about parenting as guidance rather than control, encouraging independence alongside responsibility. Jaden's individuality reflects that philosophy. Their stories suggest that children thrive when given both structure and trust. Ultimately, the bond between them shows that heritage is not about becoming identical to a parent. It is about carrying forward confidence, creativity, and courage while shaping a distinct identity grounded in respect and self-belief. Lawrence Fishburne and Langston Fishburne. Placed side by side, Lawrence Fishburne and Langston Fishburne appear less like relatives and more like two stages of the same presence, separated by time. Lawrence built his reputation through performances defined by control and gravity, beginning his career as a teenager and later earning widespread acclaim for roles in Boys in the Hood, 1991 What's Love Got to Do with It, 1993 in the Matrix trilogy. Starting in 1999, he became known for portraying leaders, mentors, and thinkers. His calm voice and still posture command attention without raising volume. Langston Fishburne followed a quieter route into acting, focusing first on theater rather than immediate film visibility. That decision mirrors his father's early training, where stage work taught projection discipline and emotional precision. Observers frequently note the shared vocal tone, deep measured and naturally authoritative. The similarity is particularly noticeable in live performance, where small gestures communicate meaning before dialogue begins. Beyond facial structure, their connection appears philosophical. Lawrence has often approached acting as a craft requiring patience and preparation rather than constant exposure. Langston's career choices reflect the same respect for process, favoring development of technique over rapid fame. Instead of imitating specific roles, he absorbed an approach to storytelling built on restraint and sincerity. The resemblance becomes striking in stillness. Both men convey emotion through subtle expression rather than exaggerated movement. A quiet look or slight pause often carries weight, demonstrating how presence can be more powerful than volume. This shared method creates a sense of continuity rooted in values rather than appearance alone. Their story highlights a form of legacy centered on mentorship. Growing up around rehearsal scripts and professional discipline likely shaped Langston's understanding of performance. He inherited not merely opportunity, but a model of work ethic and respect for craft. On a broader level, their example offers a gentle lesson about influence. Children frequently learn more from observation than instruction. By consistently practicing dedication and humility, a parent can pass down qualities that outlast career success. The Fishburnes remind viewers that true inheritance may not be fame or recognition, but character, a quiet steadiness that allows individuals to move through life with dignity and purpose. Martin Lawrence and Ayanna Faith Lawrence. When people place Martin Lawrence beside his daughter, Ayanna Faith Lawrence, the similarity often produces an immediate smile. The bright eyes, lively facial expressions, and unmistakable grin feel like a living reminder of the energy that defined television comedy in the 1990s. Martin Lawrence rose from stand-up stages to national fame through the sitcom Martin 1992 to 1997, a show that became one of the most influential comedies of its era. His quick reactions, physical humor, and rapid-fire improvisation made audiences laugh before a punchline even arrived. He later carried that charisma into successful films such as Bad Boys 1995 and Big Mama's House 2000, proving his appeal extended beyond television. Ayanna Faith Lawrence did not pursue the same performance path, which actually strengthens the fascination surrounding their resemblance. In public appearances and family photos, fans recognize familiar features instantly. Her smile lands with the same warmth that once anchored millions of weekly viewers. The connection appears natural rather than staged, showing itself most clearly in candid moments rather than professional settings. What makes their pairing meaningful is contrast. Martin built his career through relentless touring live audiences and the pressure of sustaining a major network series during a time when Black-led sitcoms struggled for consistent support. Iyanna represents a different chapter, one in which the legacy exists visually without requiring repetition. She carries the memory of an entertainment era simply through likeness, not obligation. Observers often note that Martin's comedy relied on expressive reactions, and his daughter's face communicates emotion in a similar way as even in still photographs. Yet she remains largely private, choosing personal development rather than public performance. That distance keeps the comparison respectful and avoids expectations she never chose. Their relationship offers a gentle human lesson. A parent's achievements can inspire pride without dictating a child's destiny. Legacy does not always demand imitation. Sometimes it simply preserves connection. Seeing them together reminds audiences that family influence is strongest when it allows individuality. Martin created laughter for millions, while Iyanna represents continuity proof that joy, warmth, and personality can travel across generations, even outside the spotlight. Eddie Murphy and Eric Murphy. Eddie Murphy and Eric Murphy demonstrate how resemblance alone can carry cultural memory. Eddie Murphy became a global star in the early 1980s through Saturday Night Live, where his fearless characters and rapid wit revitalized the show. He quickly transitioned into film, starring in Beverly Hills Cop 1984, Coming to America 1988, and later The Nutty Professor. 1996. His expressive eyes, mischievous smile, and confident timing made him one of the most recognizable entertainers of his generation. When Eric Murphy began appearing publicly, longtime fans reacted with surprise because the likeness felt almost time-traveling. The same grin, relaxed posture, and playful expression mirror Eddie's younger years. In casual photographs, Eric often appears as though he could step directly into one of his father's early performances. The resemblance does not rely on styling or imitation. It appears naturally, especially in unguarded moments. Unlike his father, Eric has maintained a relatively low profile. He has explored creative projects and media production, but has not rushed towards stand-up comedy or major film stardom. This contrast adds depth to the comparison. Eddie's career required constant exposure, live audiences, and weekly television appearances during a period when opportunities for Black comedians were limited. Eric lives in an era where recognition exists immediately because of lineage, yet he chooses a quieter pace. Observers often say Eric's expressions resemble Eddie just before delivering a punchline, a subtle detail that triggers nostalgia for viewers who grew up watching his father. The face alone recalls laughter, memorable characters, and a moment in entertainment history when comedy felt daring and unpredictable. Their story highlights a broader truth: legacy can exist without repetition. A child does not have to replicate a parent's career for the connection to matter. Sometimes influence appears in mannerisms, humor, or perspective rather than occupation. The Murphy family illustrates that heritage is not measured only by achievements, but also by shared personality. In a human sense, their bond reminds us that identity is partly inherited, yet still personal, allowing each generation to define success in its own way. LL Cool J and Najee Smith. When LL Cool J stands beside his son Najee Smith, the resemblance appears immediately, yet the real connection lies in presence rather than celebrity. LL Cool J, born James Todd Smith, emerged in the mid-1980s as one of the earliest solo superstars of hip-hop. After signing with Def Jam Recordings as a teenager, he released Radio in 1985 and later Mama Sa'd Knock You Out in 1990, establishing himself as both a lyrical competitor and a mainstream figure. His image combined confidence with composure, a sharp jawline, steady eye contact, and controlled body language that communicated authority without exaggeration. He later expanded into acting, notably starring for over a decade on the television series NCIS Los Angeles. Najee Smith reflects that same calm demeanor. In public photos and appearances, he carries himself with relaxed posture and measured expression similar to his father's early interviews. The likeness is most noticeable when neither is speaking. LL Cool J never relied on loud gestures to command attention, and Najee projects the same quiet assurance. Observers often remark that he does not attempt to appear stylish. He simply seems comfortable in his own identity. What makes this pairing meaningful is contrast in lifestyle. LL Cool J built his career through touring, recording, and constant public performance during a time when hip-hop artists fought for industry recognition. Najee, by comparison, has chosen a more private path, stepping outside the pressures of celebrity. Instead of reproducing his father's career, he carries the visual and emotional imprint of discipline and self-respect. LL Cool J has frequently spoken about commitment to family faith and long-term consistency, explaining that longevity requires balance beyond fame. That message appears reflected in Najee's grounded personality. The resemblance, therefore, suggests environment as much as genetics. Children often absorb habits simply by observing daily behavior. Their relationship highlights a human truth. Leadership can be demonstrated quietly. A parent does not need constant instruction to influence a child. Example is often enough. The two show that legacy may live in posture, values, and composure rather than occupation. Success in this sense is not only measured by awards or sales, but by character passed forward with patience and care. Lauryn Hill and Selah Marley. Placed side by side, Lauryn Hill and her daughter Selah Marley share a resemblance that feels thoughtful rather than dramatic. The similarity appears most strongly in their eyes, observant, calm, and reflective. Lauryn Hill gained international recognition in the 1990s as a member of the Fugees and later as a solo artist with The Miseducation of Butter and Hill, 1998, an album that earned 5 Grammy Awards in one night, a historic achievement at the time. Her performances emphasize emotion and honesty, often prioritizing meaning over commercial formula. Selah Marley, who pursued modeling and creative projects, reflects that same inward focus. On fashion runways and in editorial photography, she often holds stillness rather than exaggerated poses. Photographers frequently note her ability to communicate mood with minimal movement, echoing the way her mother conveyed feeling in live performances. The resemblance extends beyond facial structure into expression, a composed gaze, and deliberate pacing in conversation. What distinguishes their pairing is shared seriousness about identity. Lauryn Hill's career included periods away from the spotlight as she prioritized personal beliefs, family life, and spiritual reflection. Selah has spoken publicly about self-awareness, mental health, and faith, indicating a similar introspective outlook shaped by upbringing. Although she works in fashion rather than music, the values underlying her public presence resemble her mother's emphasis on authenticity. The likeness becomes most striking in quiet moments. When photographed candidly, Selah's posture and calm expression evoke early images of Lauryn during her Fugees era. Yet she does not replicate her mother's career. Instead, she adapts inherited confidence into a different creative environment, showing that influence does not require duplication. Their story offers a broader reflection about family influence. Children often inherit ways of thinking rather than professions. By observing honesty and conviction, they develop their own voice. Lauryn and Selah illustrate that legacy can be emotional and intellectual, as well as visual. In human terms, their relationship suggests that true guidance encourages individuality while preserving values. Heritage becomes meaningful not when a child repeats a parent's success, but when they carry forward sincerity, awareness, and respect for themselves and others. Rev Run Joseph Simmons and Diggy Simmons. Rev Run, born Joseph Simmons, helped move hip-hop from neighborhood parties into mainstream culture as a founding member of Run DMC in the 1980s. With Adidas sneakers, simple beats, and clear delivery, the group transformed rap into a global genre and influenced fashion branding and performance style. His public image combined calm authority with accessibility, presenting confidence without aggression. When his son Diggy Simmons emerged years later, audiences noticed a familiar silhouette. Immediately, the same facial structure, composed posture, and effortless cool that once defined his father's stage presence. Diggy first attracted attention as a teenager through music releases and television appearances, but what stood out was not just his last name. His delivery showed awareness of hip-hop's history, and he often spoke about respecting the culture rather than chasing popularity. That attitude echoed Rev Run's long-standing message that identity matters more than trends. While his father had to defend rap's legitimacy in its early years, Diggy entered a world where hip-hop dominated global entertainment. The expectations were therefore heavier. He had to prove authenticity in a space already shaped by his family's legacy. Observers often point to their body language. Rev Run's calm demeanor made him a reassuring presence both on stage and later as a television personality and author. Diggy carries similar composure in interviews, rarely appearing rushed or performative. Instead of avoiding comparison, he acknowledged the connection while building his own projects in music, acting, and fashion. His career reflects adaptation rather than imitation. Their relationship demonstrates how cultural heritage can pass through mentorship. Diggy grew up watching studio sessions, rehearsals, and public responsibilities, gaining an understanding of professionalism early in life. That environment likely shaped his confidence and perspective. Beyond entertainment, their story conveys a human message about continuity. Parents who share knowledge and values provide a foundation stronger than fame. Rev Run's influence offered guidance rather than pressure, allowing his son to grow into his own identity. Together, they show that legacy is not simply inherited recognition. It is the responsibility to respect history while moving forward thoughtfully and with integrity. Jamie Foxx and Corinne Foxx. Jamie Foxx and Corinne Foxx share a resemblance that feels warm and approachable. Jamie Foxx built a rare multi-dimensional career, moving from stand-up comedy and sketch television to dramatic acting and music. After gaining attention on In Living Color in the 1990s, he expanded into film, eventually winning the Academy Award for Best Actor for portraying Ray Charles in Ray 2004. His versatility, comedian, singer, and actor, depended on charisma and audience connection qualities, visible in his expressive eyes and relaxed smile. Corinne Foxx, his daughter, carries that same natural ease before cameras. In public appearances, hosting roles and interviews, she communicates with steady eye contact and calm energy, creating an immediate sense of comfort. The resemblance becomes especially noticeable in candid moments when her expressions mirror her father's early television appearances. Rather than rehearsed gestures, the similarity appears instinctive. Corinne chose a different professional route, focusing on presenting, producing, and media work rather than stand-up comedy or dramatic acting. She studied communications and learned broadcast skills before taking major on-camera opportunities. Her preparation reflects lessons often emphasized by Jamie Foxx, who has repeatedly credited discipline and rehearsal for sustaining his career across multiple industries. Observers frequently note how both interact with audiences. Jamie developed his connection through live performances in comedy clubs and concerts, while Corinne engages viewers through hosting and interviews. The methods differ, but the foundation, attentiveness, and respect for the audience feel shared. Their partnership on television projects further highlights their comfortable dynamic built on trust rather than formality. Their story demonstrates a meaningful form of influence. A parent's example can shape confidence and professionalism more effectively than direct instruction. Corinne did not copy her father's career path, yet she inherited the ability to communicate naturally and sincerely. On a broader level, their relationship shows that success is not only about recognition, it is also about guidance, patience, and mutual respect within families. Jamie Foxx's achievements opened opportunities, but Corinne's preparation allowed her to use them responsibly. Together, they illustrate that legacy works best when paired with effort, and that genuine encouragement can help the next generation stand confidently in its own space. Forest Whitaker and Ocean Whitaker. Forest Whitaker and his son Ocean Whitaker share a resemblance that is subtle but deeply recognizable. Rather than striking at first glance, the similarity grows clearer over time, especially in their eyes. Forest Whitaker built a distinguished acting career across several decades, becoming known for thoughtful and emotionally layered performances. His role in The Last King of Scotland, 2006, earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, and his earlier work in films such as Bird 1988 and Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai 1999, established him as a performer capable of portraying complex human psychology. His acting style relies on stillness, allowing silence and expression to communicate as much as dialogue. Ocean Whitaker reflects that same calm presence. In public appearances and photographs, his posture and facial expression suggest quiet attentiveness rather than performance. The likeness appears strongest when neither man is speaking. Both maintain a composed gaze that feels reflective instead of reactive. Observers often notice the same thoughtful demeanor, giving the impression of emotional awareness rather than theatrical display. What makes their connection compelling is the shared emphasis on grounding values. Forest Whitaker has frequently spoken about education, humanitarian work, and conflict resolution initiatives, demonstrating a life shaped by responsibility beyond acting. Growing up in that environment likely influenced Ocean's outlook. Although he has not pursued the same high-profile acting career, his demeanor mirrors the patience and composure his father represents. The resemblance therefore extends beyond appearance. It suggests an upbringing centered on observation and example. Children often internalize attitudes simply by watching how a parent handles attention and pressure. Forrest's calm public conduct appears reflected in Ocean's relaxed behavior outside the spotlight. Their relationship highlights a broader truth about legacy. Not every inheritance is professional. Sometimes the most valuable lessons involve empathy, humility, and self-control. By demonstrating steadiness rather than seeking constant attention, Forrest modeled a different form of success, one based on character. Ocean's presence reflects that influence. Together, they show that dignity can be passed forward quietly and that the strongest impact a parent can have may be teaching a child how to remain centered regardless of recognition. Master P and Romeo Miller. Master P and Romeo Miller represent a generational story shaped not only by entertainment, but also by entrepreneurship. Master P, born Percy Miller, rose from modest beginnings in New Orleans to become a major figure in independent hip-hop. Through No Limit Records in the 1990s, he built a business model that emphasized ownership and self-distribution, reportedly moving tens of millions of records across his label's catalog. His image communicated discipline and leadership, presenting success as a product of planning rather than luck. When Romeo Miller entered the public eye as a child rapper and actor, fans immediately noticed the resemblance: similar facial structure, confident stance, and composed expressions. Yet what stood out was his maturity. Even during early fame, he appeared comfortable with interviews and public responsibilities, suggesting preparation behind the scenes. Growing up around studios and business meetings exposed him to the mechanics of entertainment long before adulthood. Romeo's early music success and television roles introduced him to audiences, but he later chose to pursue higher education, attending college while continuing media projects. That decision reflected guidance from his father, who consistently emphasized long-term stability over short-term attention. Rather than depending solely on childhood popularity, Romeo expanded into hosting acting and business ventures, demonstrating adaptability. Their similarity becomes clearest in demeanor. Both carry themselves with measured movement and steady speech, projecting awareness of their surroundings. Master P's career required negotiation, branding, and leadership during a period when independent artists had limited resources. Romeo inherited not only recognition, but also a mindset focused on planning and accountability. Their story offers a human lesson about preparation. Opportunity alone does not sustain success. Understanding how to manage it matters more. By teaching financial responsibility and education, Master P provided tools rather than pressure. Romeo used those tools to build his own path while respecting the foundation laid before him. Together, they illustrate that legacy can evolve without losing identity. A parent may create the blueprint, but the next generation determines how it develops. In this case, resemblance symbolizes more than shared features. It reflects shared determination, showing how guidance and effort can transform family history into lasting progress. Dr. Dre and Truly Young. When Dr. Dre and his daughter Truly Young appear together, the resemblance is not loud but unmistakable. The same calm eyes and composed facial structure give the impression of a shared temperament rather than a copied style. Dr. Dre, born Andre Young, helped shape modern hip-hop as both an artist and a producer. Beginning with NWA in the late 1980s, he later introduced the G-Funk sound through The Chronic 1992, a project that influenced an entire generation of rap production. Beyond performing, he co-founded Aftermath Entertainment and played a central role in launching artists such as Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and 50 Cent. His business ventures expanded into technology as well, including the creation of Beats Electronics, which Apple acquired in 2014 in a multi-billion-dollar deal. Truly Young grew up around music culture, yet chose a different creative direction. Instead of pursuing rap, she explored visual art, photography, and fashion. Her public presence often appears reflective and understated, mirroring her father's reserved demeanor rather than his professional intensity. In candid photos, her expressions carry a thoughtful stillness, similar to Dr. Dre's early interviews where he communicated more through posture than words. Their pairing is meaningful because it shows legacy without replication. Dr. Dre's career required constant innovation, studio hours, and industry competition. Truly's interests reflect a generation able to express creativity in broader forms beyond recording studios. The resemblance therefore symbolizes influence rather than expectation. She carries the environment she grew up in, discipline, patience, and attention to detail, but applies it differently. Observers often notice that both maintain privacy despite public recognition. Dr. Dre rarely sought excessive media attention even during peak fame, and Truly similarly presents herself carefully sharing selected aspects of her life. This similarity suggests that family culture, not just genetics, shapes behavior. Their story offers a gentle human message. Children do not have to repeat a parent's achievements to honor them. Sometimes the greatest tribute is using inherited confidence to create an independent identity. By choosing her own artistic path, Truly reflects the freedom made possible by her father's work. Together they show that legacy is strongest when it supports individuality, allowing the next generation to grow without pressure while still carrying respect for the past. T.I. and King Harris. T.I. born Clifford Harris Jr. became one of the defining voices of Southern hip-hop in the early 2000s. With albums like Trap Music 2003 and King 2006, he helped popularize the term trap music and introduced a lyrical style that balanced street storytelling with mainstream appeal. His delivery combined confidence and calculation, and his public persona emphasized leadership and self-awareness. Beyond music, he expanded into acting, entrepreneurship, and television, building a career that extended beyond recording. Standing beside him, his son King Harris immediately draws comparisons. The shared facial features, especially the eyes and jawline, create a familiar image for longtime fans. Yet the deeper similarity appears in attitude. King entered the public eye at a young age through social media and music, demonstrating comfort with attention that resembles his father's early-stage presence. His performances show enthusiasm and ambition, though shaped by a different era, dominated by online platforms rather than physical mixtape circuits. The contrast between their careers highlights changing times. T.I. rose during a period when artists traveled extensively, promoted records in person, and built regional reputations before national fame. King began in an environment where visibility can occur instantly. This difference creates both opportunity and pressure. Comparisons arrive quickly, and expectations can be heavy for a young performer connected to a well-known parent. T.I. has often spoken publicly about responsibility and personal growth, emphasizing lessons learned from success and mistakes alike. That guidance appears to influence King's development as he navigates public attention. While still early in his journey, he has expressed determination to establish his own identity rather than rely solely on family recognition. Their relationship reflects a broader life lesson. Children often inherit not only opportunity but also scrutiny. How they respond depends on preparation and support. T.I.'s role as mentor allows King to learn from experience he did not personally live through. In human terms, their story reminds audiences that growth takes patience. Legacy can provide direction, but maturity comes from personal choices. Together, they show how guidance and independence must coexist for the next generation to mature confidently and responsibly. 50 Cent and Marquise Jackson. When 50 Cent and his son Marquise Jackson are placed side by side, the physical similarity is unmistakable. The same facial structure, cheekbones, and expression often surprise fans who remember the rapper's early rise. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson emerged in the early 2000s with Get Rich or Die, trying 2003, an album that sold millions of copies worldwide and turned him into one of hip-hop's most visible figures. His public image was shaped by survival ambition and business instinct, later expanding into film, television production, and entrepreneurship, including the successful series Power. Marquise Jackson grew up during the height of his father's fame, which meant public attention surrounded him from childhood. As he became older, observers noticed how strongly he resembled 50 Cent in appearance and mannerisms. Photos often circulate online where viewers initially mistake Marquise for a younger version of the rapper. Yet their story demonstrates that resemblance does not always equal shared experience. While 50 Cent's career developed through difficult personal circumstances and relentless work in music promotion, Marquise's life unfolded under constant public scrutiny. The contrast between them highlights the complicated side of legacy. A well-known parent can provide recognition, but it can also create expectations and comparisons that are difficult to navigate. Marquise explored acting and media appearances, attempting to establish an identity independent of his father's reputation. However, public interest often focused on their relationship rather than his personal efforts, showing how fame can overshadow individuality. Their pairing illustrates an important human lesson. Family connections can influence opportunity, yet they cannot replace communication and understanding. Physical likeness may remind audiences of a shared origin, but personal journeys remain separate. Viewers often expect children of celebrities to repeat success, overlooking the reality that each person faces unique challenges. Ultimately, the connection between 50 Cent and Marquise Jackson reveals that legacy involves more than appearance or achievement. It requires patience, maturity, and empathy from both generations. Their story encourages reflection on how public attention affects private relationships and reminds audiences that behind celebrity images are real families working through real experiences. Recognition may be inherited, but personal growth must still be earned through time, effort, and understanding. Snoop Dogg and Cordell Broadus. Snoop Dogg and his son Cordell Broadus demonstrate how resemblance can connect generations while still allowing different life paths. Snoop Dogg, born Calvin Broadus Jr., became a defining voice of West Coast hip-hop after appearing on Dr. Dre's The Chronic 1992 and releasing Doggy Style 1993. His relaxed flow, distinctive voice, and laid-back persona turned him into an international cultural figure whose influence expanded into television, film, business ventures, and sports commentary. Cordell Broadus shares his father's facial features, height, and calm demeanor. When he appears publicly, many notice the same composed expression and easy confidence. Yet his interest developed away from music. As a young athlete, Cordell earned attention as a highly recruited football player and initially committed to play college football at UCLA. Later, he chose to step away from competitive sports, explaining that he wanted to pursue creative and personal goals instead. He eventually moved into fashion design, modeling, and media production. This decision reflects the difference between generations. Snoop Dogg built his career during a time when artists relied on record sales and radio exposure, while Cordell grew up in an era of digital platforms and diverse career opportunities. The resemblance therefore becomes symbolic rather than prescriptive. Although he looks like his father, Cordell did not feel obligated to follow the same profession. Observers often notice that both project composure and interviews. Snoop's calm conversational style became part of his public identity, and Cordell displays a similar relaxed communication style. The similarity suggests influence through environment. Growing up around a confident public figure likely shaped his comfort with attention. Their relationship highlights an important perspective on family influence. A parent's achievements can open possibilities, but fulfillment depends on personal choice. By supporting Cordell's decision to pursue different interests, Snoop demonstrated acceptance rather than expectation. Their story reminds audiences that legacy does not require duplication. Shared appearance can honor heritage, while individual goals define purpose. Together, they illustrate that successful parenting involves guidance and freedom, allowing the next generation to grow into its own direction while still respecting the foundation that came before. Magic Johnson and E.J. Johnson. Magic Johnson and his son E.J. Johnson reflect a different type of resemblance, one rooted less in athletics and more in confidence and presence. Irvin Magic Johnson became one of basketball's greatest players, with the Los Angeles Lakers winning 5 NBA championships and 3 MVP awards during the 1980s. His 6'9" frame and signature smile made him one of the most recognizable athletes in the world. After retiring from professional basketball, he built a successful business career, investing in real estate, sports ownership, and community development projects, demonstrating that leadership could continue beyond the court. E.J. Johnson inherited that unmistakable smile and expressive eyes, but his path diverged entirely from sports. Instead of basketball, he pursued media and fashion, becoming known through television appearances and style-focused projects. In public settings, he carries himself with a self-assured demeanor, similar to his father's public confidence during interviews and press conferences. The resemblance becomes clear in body language. Both communicate warmth through relaxed posture and steady eye contact. What makes their pairing meaningful is the message of acceptance and support. EJ developed his own identity in the public eye, often discussing personal growth and self-expression. Magic Johnson publicly supported his son, emphasizing love and family over expectation. That response resonated widely because it showed a parent prioritizing well-being rather than reputation. The contrast between their careers highlights how legacy can evolve across generations. Magic's era valued athletic performance and competition, while EJ's environment encourages individuality and creative expression. Yet both demonstrate disciplined Magic through rigorous training in business management, EJ through consistency in public communication and media professionalism. Observers often note that their shared confidence appears natural rather than rehearsed. EJ seems comfortable in front of cameras, much as his father once appeared comfortable leading a fast break on the court. The similarities suggest lessons learned from observation, watching how a parent handles pressure, criticism, and attention. Their relationship carries a broader human lesson. Support within families strengthens identity and resilience. By encouraging his son's authenticity, Magic showed that success includes compassion and understanding. Together, they remind audiences that true legacy is not limited to achievement. It is also measured by how individuals treat one another. Respect, empathy, and acceptance can be as influential as any public accomplishment. Chris Brown and Royalty Brown. Chris Brown and his daughter Royalty Brown present a generational resemblance defined by energy and expression. Chris Brown rose to fame in the mid-2000s as a teenager with his debut single Run It 2005, quickly becoming known for combining singing and dance performance. Over time, he released multiple charting albums and developed a reputation for intricate choreography and stage movement. His career demonstrated how visual performance could shape modern R&B, blending vocal ability with athletic dancing. Royalty Brown, born during the height of her father's fame, quickly drew attention because of their strong physical similarity. The shape of her smile and facial expressions often remind fans of Chris's early music videos. As she grew older, public appearances and family photos highlighted how closely she mirrored his features, especially in candid moments. Unlike her father, Royalty is still a child and not involved in professional entertainment. Her presence in the public eye mostly comes through family events and social media updates. However, she often appears comfortable around cameras, suggesting familiarity with attention from an early age. Observers frequently comment that she naturally smiles and poses with the same ease Chris demonstrated as a young performer. Their connection emphasizes the protective role of parenting. Chris Brown has spoken about fatherhood changing his priorities, encouraging greater responsibility and stability in his daily life. Caring for a child requires patience and guidance rather than performance, shifting focus from public image to personal growth. The resemblance between them highlights a hopeful message. A child does not inherit past controversies or achievements. They inherit opportunities for guidance and support. Royalty represents a new chapter rather than a continuation of career expectations. In a broader sense, their story reminds audiences that family relationships can motivate maturity. Seeing himself reflected in his daughter likely reinforces awareness of influence and an example. Parenthood often inspires reflection on behavior and values. Together, they illustrate that legacy involves more than fame. It includes nurturing, teaching, and creating a safer future for the next generation. Beyoncé and Blue Ivy Carter. When Beyoncé appears beside her daughter Blue Ivy Carter, the resemblance feels almost cinematic. The shared eyes, confident posture, and composed expressions often remind audiences of Beyoncé's early Destiny's Child era, when she first emerged as a poised teenage performer in the late 1990s. Over the following decades, Beyoncé became one of the most influential artists in modern music, winning dozens of Grammy Awards and shaping visual performance standards through albums such as Beyoncé 2013, Lemonade 2016, and Renaissance 2022. Her artistry blends vocal precision, choreography, and visual storytelling, creating a carefully disciplined public image. Blue Ivy grew up surrounded by rehearsal studio sessions and world tours, yet her public appearances have been selective. Even as a child, she displayed remarkable composure. At award shows and concerts, she often stands calmly mirroring her mother's poise. The resemblance becomes most noticeable in facial expressions, a focused gaze and confident stance that seems instinctive rather than coached. During live performances on the Renaissance World Tour in 2023, Blue Ivy joined dancers on stage for brief choreography segments, demonstrating timing and professionalism far beyond her age. Viewers did not simply see a celebrity child, they saw early signs of discipline shaped by environment. Despite the attention, Beyoncé has carefully balanced visibility and privacy, emphasizing education and normal development. Blue Ivy's participation in creative projects, including narration and voice work, appears gradual rather than rushed. This approach suggests mentorship rather than expectation. Their pairing illustrates how legacy can be guided responsibly. Beyoncé built her career through rehearsal preparation and constant refinement. Blue Ivy's confidence reflects exposure to that work ethic rather than entitlement. The likeness therefore symbolizes continuity of values more than replication of career. Their story also offers a broader lesson about parenting and public life. Protecting childhood while encouraging talent requires patience and restraint. By introducing her daughter carefully to performance spaces, Beyoncé demonstrates that opportunity should match readiness. Blue Ivy's calm demeanor shows that encouragement and structure can coexist. Together, they represent a legacy shaped not by pressure, but by support, reminding audiences that influence becomes meaningful when paired with care, education, and respect for personal growth. Kimora Lee Simmons and Ming Lee Simmons. Kimora Lee Simmons and her daughter Ming Lee Simmons share a resemblance that instantly recalls the modeling world of the late 1990s and early 2000s. Kimora Lee Simmons began her career as a teenager walking international runways for major fashion houses before later becoming a business executive and creative director. She eventually led the Baby Fat clothing brand, combining fashion with entrepreneurship and helping expand representation in mainstream style marketing. Her public image balanced glamour with business awareness, presenting fashion as both art and industry. Ming Lee Simmons reflects that same elegance in appearance and posture. In photographs and public events, her facial features, height, and confident stance strongly resemble her mother's early modeling years. The similarity appears especially noticeable in runway settings, where her walk and composure evoke Kimora's early career presence. Yet Ming's path unfolds in a different era. Social media platforms now influence fashion visibility, and she has built a following online while also pursuing education. Rather than immediate full-time modeling, she has explored branding, entrepreneurship, and selective fashion projects. This mirrors her mother's emphasis on business understanding alongside creative expression. Kimora has often encouraged her children to prioritize learning and independence, stressing that recognition alone is not a sustainable foundation. Ming's careful approach suggests she absorbed those lessons. The pairing highlights generational change within the fashion industry. Kimora entered modeling through agency scouting and international travel, while Ming operates in a digital environment where public perception forms quickly. Despite this difference, both demonstrate professionalism and awareness of image. Their story conveys an important message about mentorship. A parent who experienced both success and pressure can guide a child through similar opportunities with caution. Kimora's experience allows her to advise rather than control, giving Ming the freedom to grow while avoiding unrealistic expectations. Together, they illustrate that legacy in creative fields involves preparation and education as much as appearance. The resemblance draws attention, but sustained progress depends on discipline and self-knowledge. Their relationship reminds viewers that confidence is often learned at home, and that supportive guidance helps the next generation step forward with purpose instead of pressure. After seeing these families side by side, the question becomes deeper than resemblance. Does legacy give an advantage, or does it create pressure to live up to expectations? Some viewers see opportunity, others see responsibility. Growing up in the public eye means every success is compared and every mistake is magnified. Yet behind the cameras are parents trying to guide and children trying to discover who they truly are. Perhaps the real inheritance isn't fame at all, but work ethic, character, and resilience. On Black Excellence Legends, we believe legacy should inspire growth, not entitlement. Now we want your honest opinion. Is this fair advantage or earned continuation? Comment below, share your thoughts respectfully, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that celebrate history and humanity.